sister was the artist in the house before I knew how to draw, and she got all the attention and I didn't like it. So I would ask her to give me drawing lessons, like, Tasha, teach me how to draw. I want to be just like you. And I soon surpassed her. So that's kind of what started it. The monkey see, monkey do, want to be like big sister mentality.
When I was a kid, I used to draw comics nonstop. And a lot of things like Calvin and Hobbes and SpongeBob kept me going. And then I met Abdon Romero, and he's an artist in Miami, where I'm from. And that's how I started to do more representational art. And now I'm here at Pathway.
I've always been interested in art since I was a kid. But what started it was probably getting my first taste of the internet and like my first accounts on a couple sites where people were encouraged to draw. So I started like coming up with different ideas of like starting to draw like cartoons and stuff, and then it just moved on from there to like taking art classes outside of school and then deciding to go to art school.
I think the process started when I was always interested in art, and I was always drawing things, and my mom picked up on that and like signed me up for some art classes, and I was taking art classes outside of school. And then I wanted to take art in middle school, but I couldn't because of issues. But I still was taking those art classes outside of school, and like I was always just really into like making art, and I always thought it was fun, just a fun thing to do. And my mom always pushed me and was like, just keep going with it, So
I do a lot of sketches before I start doing anything big. And I try out a couple different like setups of what I want to do, and then if it requires having reference, I'll either take photographs or like get someone to pose for me.
Sometimes I've been starting off with sketching ideas out and all that stuff, because I wouldn't do that before. I would just go in full front, like alla prima, like started out like that. But sketching out the composition and everything is mostly a big deal for me, and it's really important.
Oh, just think about it for 2 days and hype myself up to do it, and then I sit down and do it. I'm a painter and I draw. I tried sculpture once upon a time, but that was awful. That was disastrous on my part. I haven't really explored anything else. I guess I'm just stuck in my box, my paint and drawing box.
It depends on what kind of piece it is. If it's like a homework assignment where there's like a specific outline of what you're supposed to do, then I have to kind of work that out and figure out how I'm going to fit that into like something that still interests me, or is still something that I feel like goes with like the kind of art that I want to make. If it's just something I want to do on my own time, I think about like the composition, like how I can make this into something that is like worth my time, or something that I really feel like is just a good piece of artwork. And I don't know, I guess composition is like one of those big things that you have to think about, or like the piece is not going to be successful. So I think that's always the first thing I think about, is like how I'm going to compose this thing and how I'm going to make it into what I'm picturing in my head as like this good piece of art, or this like quality piece of art.
I'm very much into documentary journalism. Like, for example, I saw this Pulitzer Prize. I don't know if you heard about it. At the Constitution Center, there was an exhibit on Pulitzer Prize winning photography. And I really got a lot out of that exhibit, simply because there was just so much happening in just one moment that could have been captured or not. There was no other chance but that moment to capture something happening. And just with the captions next to the story, or next to just like the picture, and describing what's happening and why this event was relevant and stuff. I really saw myself, I could really see myself doing that. Something along those lines. Just recording, studying, observing, a lot of observation.
You know, I'm not a very good, like, communicator or something like that, but, like, you know, it feels more natural at this point for me to be, like, sitting down drawing than it does to be, like, like just talking, if that makes any sense.
It's a creative outlet. Like, if I'm not doing anything artistic, then I get artistically constipated. And it's like this buildup of creative energy. Like, for a while I did dance, I took piano lessons, I went to theater camp, and then I've been doing drawing and painting like all my life. So if I stop, I get constipated.
Any creative person with enough, like, sort of mental, like, energy, you know, like, no, like, sort of with enough, like, drive, you know, they're always creating something. There's something just horrifying feeling about sitting down and doing nothing.
It's not that I normally paint with my emotions, if that's something to say, like, not too cheesy, but whenever I'm feeling like, oh, I feel really crappy, you know, I gotta draw this out somehow because I can't find another way to divulge that sense of depression or happiness. And I've always had to just, like, pick up a pencil and paper and it's out. That's all I have to do. And it's always been like that.
It's like a combination of documenting and it being kind of like an outlet for my emotions. When I get, like, really into a piece, like, no doubt my emotions are gonna go into it because it becomes this, like, emotional thing, and you feel like this connection to the art, whether it's positive or negative. That's just how it is. And then me just, when I see something that I want to paint and then I paint it or I draw it, it becomes like a documentation of whatever I've seen, and then I get to, like, keep that forever, and then I always have it, and it's just there, and I can remember why I wanted to do it just by looking at the piece. So
I didn't think too hard about it. I didn't think about it. It was just, you know, thinking of me becoming an accountant or just having what would be considered a conventional standard job that's guaranteed to, like, you know, give you money, like, in financial success. I just never really saw myself fitting into that because it's always been for me this push and pull between happiness and comfort, happiness and security. And I'd rather be happy with what I'm doing with myself because that's more fulfilling. So.
And you get your standard run-of-the-mill, like, kind of patronizing reaction, like, you know, your parents are just like, oh, that's nice, honey, you know, like, oh, it's very nice, you know, hang it on the fridge, you know, that sort of thing.
Like, my teacher told me I'm gonna work at Whole Foods because I'm not doing enough, which sucks because I think I'm doing the most.
for me, I just kind of brushed it off because I had this mentality like I'm going to make it a career or nothing. Like I always had this plan that I wanted it to be my career, so I just kind of put that to the side. But yeah, my family, not so much now, but they've always kind of been a little skeptical because they're the starving artist kind of stereotype has always been like a thing that they think that I'm gonna like turn out that way, and they've always brought that up to me, like starving artist, it's hard to make money out there, like with painting, and I just kind of
as far as my family is concerned, everybody's been really supportive, but they like to hint at it like, maybe you should do something else, maybe you should minor in something else, and I'm like, I don't have anything else to do. I'm not good at anything else. I suck at math and science, English. I'm not writing papers for the rest of my life, so that's what I gotta do.
I applied to a magnet art middle school and I didn't get in the first time, and my art teacher in 5th grade told me that she thought it was for the better that I didn't get in, so fuck you, Miss Pinkham.
They're more empowering. Like, it sucks to hear it, but like, prove them wrong. let the haters hate. Do you.
At that time, it just made me mad. But usually, I haven't really run into people telling me I should stop doing art. I've had people tell me I don't like my art, but that just like, I guess that just also made me mad at the time. But I feel like it overall, it kind of helps me like reevaluate myself and not stick to my, closed world. And yeah, so it's not bad. Thank you, Miss Pinkham.